do the clone. All right. So again, good morning and thank you everyone for joining this week's Weekly Wave. This week's call is going to be much shorter than the previous weeks. So just to get right into it, we've been saying this for the last couple of weeks, but we're still experiencing a pretty high contact volume, and we're still a pretty small team. So please bear with us and allow for at least 24 to 48 hours to get a response from one of our team members while we look into your specific issue. We would be great if we could just, look at your email and then immediately be able to respond. But a lot of the times we do end up having to look into your issue, and it does take a little bit of time. So again, please just bear with us and allow for at least 24 to 48 hours for our team to either give you a specific response to your issue and let you know it's been fixed, or we'll reach back out and just say we will respond back to you with a more detailed explanation of what's going on or giving you an answer to your question in that window. So along with that, for those of you who are emailing us or leaving voicemails, please do not leave a full name of a student in either. We do not need that information. So long as you leave the local ID or STN for that student, we have all the information we need to look them up. Again, our office, we get all the information from your student information system, so we don't need you all to reply or send us an email with a full name of a student. We do not expect for any personable, identifiable information, sorry, that is a tongue twister, or PII data to be sent through email to the state. So any data office that you're reaching out to, we really don't need the full name of the student, just the local ID or STN is fine. Said this a couple weeks in a row too. We still do have 3 reports open in the wave, one being the 3rd grade promotion and retention report that has an issue with it right now in terms of saving. And our OMES team is looking into that report as we speak to make a few adjustments so that the saving experience for those of you who are going through that report is a little better than it is right now. The first quarter statistical report and the October 1 report are also open. The October 1 report will be closing first. We will be closing that on November 1st at 11:59 p.m. And we're hoping to not have any extensions going with this report. So if you're seeing any issues right now during that review period, please reach out to us and let us know what you're seeing. Keeping a pretty good look at your find missing students to make sure that you are addressing any issues with students that are excluded and should be on the report. Our guide will explain why students will show up and find missing students. And sometimes it is perfectly okay for a student to be showing up and find missing students. For example, if you have some students in there right now that are listed with the basis of admission of PK3, those students who are 3 years old and waiting on eligibility shouldn't be on the October 1 report until eligibility services have been determined. In that case, then we are expecting for that basis of admission to be updated from PK3 to, if they're a resident student of your district, to that specific basis of admission, or whatever basis of admission code or entry reason best fits that student situation. The FQSR, we also have guidance on it. Yesterday, we did put, or 2 days ago, sorry, we did put the request schedule on that report as well. So you all can see when we are pulling the calendar information, the student daily attendance, and the student attendance summary information, which has the transportation information in it as well. So generally speaking, for transportation and attendance, we only pull that on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, unless it is being specifically requested by a school district. If you're making massive changes and you're needing data pulled on an off day, we can definitely do that. Or if you're making those changes on a day that we have already pulled the data, we can also do that as well. So the due date for the FQSR is going to be in December. So you have plenty of time to look over that report and make sure that that information is looking good. Again, we do say that you should be looking at your calendars right now for the FQSR to make sure that that information is appropriately showing up. Because if it is not, and you start going and looking at your student attendance information to make sure that their membership, attendance, and transportation all match the reports that you're seeing in your student information system. If the calendars are off, then all three of the data points that I just said, membership, attendance, and transportation, will also be off. The calendar information is what we start with to determine what the base membership should be, and then we start taking days away from there, depending on if they're absent or not. So you want to make sure that you have a appropriate calendar information showing, because if you do not, then all the other information on that FQSR report will not be what you're expecting. All right, so that is the updates that we have, at least for the state reporting certification reports. So now we're going into the state infection report.
State infection reporting system, and I'm going to jump in here for Lakeisha because I'm a little bit more heavily involved in this stuff. You guys know that the state infection reporting system is out there. You know, you have to report it. It's required reporting for students and staff members across schools in Oklahoma for all quarantines and positive cases. The reason why that's required is because this is really a Department of Health application, but you guys have access to our system in our SSO. So we have worked with them to connect that. So basically all the data that you're reporting isn't really coming to Ed, it's really going to the Department of Health. Make sure you're reporting your quarantines and your positive cases through that system. There was a big announcement about the partnership between Oklahoma State Department of Education and Department of Health for the COVID testing grant. There's lots of money available for that. There's some requirements too, and I would point you guys towards Shelly Perkins and I'll put her email in chat to chat about what is required and how you get a grant and all that stuff. But she is the one that is administrating that grant right now. So just as you may need to talk to her, there's her email address. Oops, and I didn't put it out there to everybody yet. So yes, one person. Here we go. All right. Oh, without the V. Add a Vita into that. Sorry. svd.ok.gov. All right. So next. Sorry. Thank you. Talking about PEBT. So as you probably all know, that report is not available right now for the 2021 school year. But DHS has started sending out dollars. But I will say, so if you have questions, there are several questions we have for a couple of FAQs for school districts and parents. It's located at that website right there on the screen. The one question we can't answer right now is what kids have qualified. I can answer it, but I'm going to give you a little bit of background here and I'll tell you why I don't want to answer it right this second. 285 districts across our state did not put their SIF agent to sleep when they rolled over. Whether that was their vendor that didn't do it or the school district that didn't do it, it doesn't really matter. That's what happened. And when that happened, when they didn't put their SIF agent to sleep before they did their end of year rollover and started sending 2022 data, it changed all their free and reduced statuses from free, reduced, whatever it might have been, to none, which means paid. So 285 districts had every student in their district reported as a paid student last year. I have since had our data teams restore that data for you. We sent that data to DHS 2 days ago. They are not DHS, I apologize, to the reporting vendor 2 days ago to have them incorporate all of those, the actual free and reduced statuses that were changed during rollover processes back to free, reduced, CDP provision, whatever it was before you rolled over. But basically 285 districts did not have anyone that qualified for PBT because that status was incorrect. So I say all that to say this, please, 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 at the end of the year, this affects more than just the PBT. It affects several other reports, but please, please, please check and make sure that your agent is asleep before you do your rollover and start sending the next year's data. If you need to, you can call us. We will check for you. We will put it to sleep for you if necessary. We can help you with that. But if you don't, and then you overwrite the previous year's data, it's very difficult for us to get that fixed. So that all being said, we did send that data over to the vendor. They're processing it now. They're going to include it in their next send to DHS, which will be in the next day or two. And all those would start being processed for payment through the DHS system. And all the parents that weren't getting it that do qualify should get that card in the next couple of weeks. We will also have we'll also have a bit of time to go in and change the data in the accountability reporting app, almost like a DVR system, but we will also be able to go into the accountability reporting app and change data from last year. Excuse me, somebody from Spain is calling me. Must be very important. Anyway, we're going to put all that data into the accountability reporting system and allow you guys to go and check it and correct it if necessary. And then we will send a supplemental file to DHS after all that's been done. I expect that ability and accountability reporting to be available in October 15th or so. We are telling our parents, we have a, so there's that. Now, we are also telling our parents in our FAQs not to contact you or DHS until at least October 15th to give everyone a chance to get the cards out, get the make sure that they don't get a card before they start calling everybody. That is in our FAQs. Please, please, please wait. We're telling parents, please wait. We're also going to open up a form on our sde.ok.gov website to allow parents to contact everyone that way. We will forward into that form. The idea is that we will feed that feedback. We will send that feedback data into accountability reporting where you're going to be making your corrections so that you will have what the parents are saying that they think they should have and should qualify for right in the same spot where you're going to make your changes. So you can, as a district, make the decision whether or not you believe that is actually true, that they did miss or didn't miss or whatever the statement that the parent is making. You'll be able to review what the parent said in a Google form or a form of some sort on our website. That information that we collect will be sent to the accountability reporting application. You'll be able to review that and then make any changes you need right in the same place. I am aware that DHS sent out a letter that made everything a whole lot more confusing. That has been addressed by Superintendent Hoffmeister and Secretary Justin Brown of DHS. I believe the idea is possibly to send another letter out from DHS. I don't know if that's really what we want to do, but I think that that's kind of the idea right now. So to hopefully clarify some of that, but we are asking parents just to wait until October 15th at least to make sure that they don't get a card before bothering you, before bothering us, before bothering DHS for the 2021 school year PBT. and I hope I covered everything. There was a lot there. I do highly suggest you go read the FAQs for school districts, because that basically tells you how we calculated eligibility for PEDT, what data points we used, and how we did that. It's very convoluted. It's very confusing. It was not easy. There are different ways we used. We used the calendars. We used attendance. We used basis of admission. We used several different things, just like you guys would, you understand, because you put it in there the correct way. If there are any other questions, I'm happy to stay on and answer them, but that's about as much as I know about PBT right now. Still working on the data, getting it corrected, but we're going to get there. And I'm done talking now, unless somebody has questions about it.
All right, well, that was actually the last slide. So I'll go ahead and stop the recording. Do that.
Kelly is asking when we have a chance to see the